Chosen ones, this is no joke. Heaven has sounded an alarm, and your spirit can feel it, even if your mind has tried to ignore it. God is saying clearly, do not treat this lightly. There are moments in history when everything shifts, when destinies are sealed, and when silence is no longer an option. You are standing in one of those moments right now. The weight pressing on your soul is not random, it is divine urgency. What has been whispered in the dark is now being shouted from the heavens. You cannot afford to brush this aside, because what unfolds next will touch every corner of your life. There is a pattern playing out around you that most people are blind to. Doors are closing, but others are opening that no man can shut. Relationships are breaking apart, but divine connections are being formed in their place. Finances that once drained you are about to turn into streams that never run dry. And yet, God warns, do not mistake the shaking for destruction. The shaking is preparation. The enemy will try to make you think everything is collapsing, but in truth, it is the clearing away of what was never meant to carry you forward. The collapse you fear is the foundation of your rising. You have to see what's at stake. This is not just about your comfort, your goals, or your dreams. This is about alignment with eternal purpose. When God says, do not treat this lightly, He is pointing to the fact that the decisions you make now are shaping not only your present, but generations after you. What you say yes to or walk away from in this season will echo. There are inheritances at risk of being lost forever if you ignore His call. There are promises hanging over your bloodline that depend on your obedience today. That is why you cannot take this message casually. Think about the nights you could not sleep, the moments your chest tightened with worry, the tears that no one else saw. You thought they were signs of weakness, but they were signals of heaven knocking at your heart. God has been trying to get your attention for a long time, and now He speaks louder. This is not a game. Your destiny is not entertainment. Your life is not a rehearsal. Every delay, every distraction, every excuse you've been holding on to is being stripped away because heaven is demanding your focus. And let's be honest, how many warnings have you already ignored? How many times did your intuition whisper that something was wrong, but you pushed it aside? How many doors closed, but instead of asking why, you kept banging on them? The truth is, God has been merciful, but mercy does not cancel accountability. You are being asked to wake up before the storm intensifies. When Noah built the ark, people mocked him. They laughed until the rain came. Then suddenly, the joke wasn't funny anymore. God is saying, do not wait until the floodwaters rise before you take me seriously. This moment requires courage. It requires you to separate from the noise of the world and tune your ear to His voice. You cannot keep running back to the same cycles, the same people, the same habits, expecting different results. Every time you compromise, you delay the breakthrough. Every time you ignore His promptings, you weaken your foundation. And yet, He still calls you back because He knows what's inside you. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. And chosen ones cannot treat holy things casually. Listen carefully. You are about to see things that will shock you. Hidden motives around you will be exposed. People you trusted will reveal themselves. Systems you depended on will collapse overnight. This is not to harm you, but to free you. If your security is in anything other than God, it will be shaken until it falls. Why? Because He refuses to let you build your life on sand. He is forcing you onto the rock, and that rock is Him. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will feel like loss. But loss of what was false is gain of what is eternal. God is not playing games with your calling. He has poured too much into you, allowed you to survive storms that should have taken you out, only for you to dismiss his voice. You've been spared too many times for this to be accidental. That car accident, that sickness, that heartbreak, it all should have destroyed you. But you're still here. Why? Because your assignment is bigger than your mistakes. Do not make the error of thinking survival equals approval. Survival equals mercy, and mercy is meant to lead you to obedience. You may not realize it, but you are being watched not just by people, but by realms. Heaven watches to see your faithfulness. Hell watches to see if you will give up. Angels stand ready to assist, but they are waiting on your yes. Demons circle, hoping you will delay. Every choice you make tips the scale. This is why God says, take this seriously. The war around you is bigger than what you can see with your eyes. What you feel as confusion or resistance is actually spiritual warfare pressing against your destiny. And if you minimize it, you will lose ground you cannot afford to lose. I need you to let this sink in. What you are carrying is not just about you. Your breakthrough will open doors for others. Your obedience will unlock blessings for your family. Your faith will shift atmospheres in rooms you haven't even entered yet. Do you understand now why the attack has been so heavy? Do you see why distractions keep multiplying? The enemy knows that if you ever take this seriously, nothing will stop you. He cannot afford for you to wake up. That's why God is shouting, wake up now. The time of casual faith is over. You cannot be halfway in and halfway out anymore. You cannot say you trust God while still clinging to your backup plans. Faith requires risk. Obedience requires sacrifice. Destiny requires urgency. God is saying, choose this day whom you will serve. There is no middle ground. Neutrality is a decision, and it is not one that will favor you. The lukewarm are being spit out. The indecisive are being left behind. But those who take this word seriously will see promises fulfilled that others only dreamed of. So let me be clear. This is not to scare you, but to sober you. This is your wake-up call. You are being asked to cut ties with what weakens you, to walk away from what drains you, to finally step into the fullness of what you were created to be. No more delay, no more excuses. No more treating sacred things like they are optional. God is not begging, He is warning. And warnings are acts of love because they give you the chance to shift before it's too late. Stay alert, stay awake, stay aligned. What comes next will not be light, but you will not be alone. Heaven is with you, and heaven will back you when you take this seriously. Like this message if it resonates with you. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen one souls walking this same path of awakening. And if you know deep inside that this is for you, declare it in the comments by typing 777. Let it be a prophetic act, a signal to heaven that you are listening and ready. Now, let's go deeper. Chosen ones, there are moments when God removes the veil and lets you see what others cannot. This is one of those moments. Pay attention, because every sign around you is speaking. The dreams that wake you in the night, the conversations that feel more than coincidence, the sudden endings you didn't plan. All of it is pointing you in a direction that cannot be ignored. When heaven repeats itself, it is not for entertainment. It is for emphasis. And right now, the repetition in your life is heaven saying, this is no joke. Look at how certain doors that once opened easily are now locked tight. It is not rejection, it is redirection. God is pulling you away from places where your potential would be wasted. If you insist on forcing what He has already shut down, you will find yourself drained, bitter, and further behind than ever. What feels like denial is really protection. Do not treat it lightly. Some of the people you thought would walk with you cannot go where you are going. Their season in your life has expired, and no amount of loyalty can rewrite God's timing. You are being positioned for assignments you never asked for but were always destined to carry. That's why the resistance feels so fierce. The pressure is not proof of failure. It is proof of weight. Heavy crowns require strong shoulders, and you cannot wear what you are meant to wear if you keep acting like this is casual. The kingdom is advancing, and heaven is calling you to take your place. This is not the time to hide your gift or silence your voice. Every delay in your obedience empowers darkness to linger where it does not belong. Think about the people depending on you, though they don't even know it yet. There are lives tied to your yes. There are breakthroughs that will only be released when you finally step forward. Every chosen one carries the weight of others' deliverance in their assignment. That is why you cannot dismiss this as another inspirational message. If you walk away unchanged, you risk leaving others bound. Your courage is the key that will unlock someone else's prison. God is saying, do not take this lightly, because your yes is bigger than you. And let's be honest, some of you have been negotiating with God. You've said, maybe later, maybe when things calm down, maybe after I feel ready. But there is no later, there is only now. The enemy is banking on your hesitation. Delay is his weapon. Procrastination is his trap. He knows he doesn't have to destroy you if he can just keep you distracted. And distraction wears many faces: busyness, fear, toxic attachments, comfort zones. Every time you choose comfort over calling, you hand away a piece of your inheritance. This is a season where clarity will come through separation. The noise is too loud where you are, and God is pulling you into silence. Do not despise solitude. It is sacred. In silence, you will hear instructions others miss. In quiet places, you will see visions hidden from the crowd. But if you keep filling your soul with endless noise, you will drown out the whispers of heaven. God is serious about this. He would rather strip you of company than let you miss his voice. So if you find yourself alone right now, don't curse it. Thank him. There is a reason the pressure in your finances has intensified. It is not just about money. It is about trust. God is training you to know the difference between provision and provider. The bank account may look empty, but heaven's supply never runs dry. Stop panicking over numbers and start focusing on promises. Your resources may shift, but your source has not. You cannot serve both fear and faith. And in this hour, your financial faith is being tested not for lack, but for future abundance. Do not treat it like a minor issue. It is preparation for stewardship on another level. Even your health has been under attack. Strange fatigue, sudden illnesses, sleepless nights, they are not random. The enemy knows if he can weaken your body, he can silence your voice. But God says your body is not failing. It is recalibrating. The spirit within you is demanding alignment, and the old patterns of neglect cannot continue. He is teaching you to rest without guilt, to nourish yourself without shame, to see your body as an instrument of his purpose rather than a burden. Treat this season with seriousness, because how you honor your body now will determine how long you can carry the mantle placed upon you. And let's speak about your mind, the thoughts that keep cycling, the anxieties that spiral out of nowhere, the heaviness you can't explain. These are not simply chemical. They are spiritual intrusions meant to convince you that you are unworthy and unequipped. But hear me clearly. The fact that you are under mental attack is proof of your spiritual power. The enemy does not torment empty vessels. He only fights what threatens him. And you, chosen one, are a threat. So guard your mind with truth, because lies will multiply if you keep entertaining them. This is not the time to numb yourself. No more escaping with distractions, no more medicating with habits that leave you emptier. Every shortcut is a snare. God is calling you to confront, not avoid, to face, not flee, to stand, not bend. If you keep ignoring the pain, it will multiply. If you hand it to Him, it will transform. What you see as weakness is the very place His power will rest. Stop running. Stop pretending. Stop minimizing what is holy. The fight you are in is bigger than you, and treating it like an option will cost you dearly. Chosen ones, the hour is late, and the call is urgent. Heaven is watching how you respond. The enemy is trembling at the thought of your obedience, and the earth itself is groaning for the manifestation of God's sons and daughters. Do not think this is exaggeration. Look at the signs around you. Chaos in nations, confusion in families, corruption in systems. The darkness is bold, and if you remain casual, you will be consumed. But if you rise, you will shine in a way that cannot be ignored. If this resonates in your spirit, do not stay silent. Type 777 inches the comments as a sign that you are awake, that you are listening, that you are choosing obedience. Hit like if you feel the urgency burning in you. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen one souls who are walking into the same awakening. Heaven is marking those who take this seriously. Chosen ones, hear this with every fiber of your being. You are standing at the edge of a threshold that very few will dare to cross. This threshold is not marked by lights or trumpets. It is marked by conviction. God is not asking you to feel ready. He is commanding you to step anyway. Readiness is not what brings the breakthrough. Obedience does. And right now, your hesitation is the only wall left standing between you and the release of what heaven has already written with your name on it. You've been sensing the tension inside of you, that strange pull that makes old desires feel empty and past routines unbearable. That is not boredom, it is divine discontent. God refuses to let you settle for crumbs when He has prepared a feast. The reason you feel so out of place is because you no longer belong to what used to fit. You are being stretched, called higher, moved beyond your comfort zone, and if you treat this season lightly, you will miss the stretching that would have made you strong enough to carry what's next. Watch carefully how opportunities will start appearing that do not make sense in the natural. They will come at inconvenient times, through unlikely people, and in unusual places. Do not dismiss them just because they don't look like what you expected. God rarely delivers promises in the packaging you imagined. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will wait forever. Some of the greatest doors will appear disguised as small assignments. Take them seriously. What you call small may be the seed of your entire destiny. There is also a separation taking place in the spirit. You may have noticed arguments arising out of nowhere, people turning cold without explanation, circles you once leaned on now feeling unstable. Do not chase what God is removing. Every attachment is being tested, because not everyone can handle the weight of your calling. If you cling to who cannot endure, you will collapse under their weight. The pruning feels cruel, but it is mercy. And if you treat it casually, you will end up dragging dead branches into your new season, draining life from what should have flourished. Your words carry weight right now in ways they never have before. Be careful what you speak over yourself and others. Casual complaining will create strongholds. Idle chatter will open doors for doubt. But declarations of faith will shift atmospheres. God is listening to every word, and heaven responds when you align your mouth with His promises. This is why silence is better than negativity, and faith-filled speech is more powerful than endless prayers of fear. What you speak today will build the environment you walk into tomorrow. Chosen ones, do not overlook the restlessness in your spirit. That unease you feel is not punishment, it is calling. God is stirring your inner waters because He is about to move you into places that demand a bolder version of you. The same insecurities that once kept you quiet cannot travel with you anymore. This next level requires you to stand tall, to speak when others shrink, to move when others freeze. If you treat this as optional, you will end up forfeiting authority that was meant to be yours. And understand this clearly. Your warfare has been intense because your influence will be wide. The enemy does not waste energy on what does not matter. He is terrified of what you will unlock once you step into alignment. That's why the pressure has been relentless, why the temptations have been persistent, why the fatigue has been unusual. But none of it is random. Every attack is evidence that something valuable is on the verge of birth. Babies don't arrive without labor, and destinies don't manifest without warfare. But you must treat the labor pains as signs, not setbacks. Do not be surprised if new streams of income begin to emerge in places you never considered. This is not just financial blessing, it is strategy. God is diversifying your provision so you are not tied to one source. He is breaking the spirit of dependency so you learn to trust Him alone. When opportunities for increase come, even if they feel unfamiliar, examine them prayerfully. Do not brush them aside. Some of them are training grounds for the wealth you will steward later. If you minimize them, you will prove unfit for the greater storehouses waiting to be opened. You must also take seriously the urgency of your habits. The patterns you form now will become the default when pressure increases. If you keep tolerating compromise, compromise will rule you when the test comes. If you discipline yourself now, discipline will protect you when the storm hits. Every daily choice is a rehearsal for destiny. Do not waste these rehearsals by treating them as optional. God is watching how you handle small responsibilities before He releases the mantle you have been praying for. Your discernment is being sharpened in this hour. That uncomfortable gut feeling, that sudden hesitation when something looks appealing, that quiet nudge when you're about to make a decision that is the Spirit training you. If you keep ignoring those whispers, you will dull your sensitivity. And in this season, dullness is dangerous. You cannot afford to misstep. You cannot afford to mistake counterfeit for covenant. Treat every prompting as sacred. Write them down, act on them, confirm them in prayer. Heaven is testing your ability to listen before it multiplies your influence. And yes, even your dreams at night are not random anymore. The images that linger when you wake, the scenarios that repeat, the warnings that unsettle you, these are messages. Some are glimpses of what's coming. Some are alerts about dangers ahead. If you dismiss them as meaningless, you will walk blindly into traps that could have been avoided. Begin to honor what you see in the night. Ask God for clarity. Record what you remember. Treat every dream like a clue in a puzzle that heaven is helping you solve. The call on your life is too heavy to treat lightly. This is not just another season. It is a hinge in history. What you do now will determine not only your personal future, but the trajectory of those attached to you. This is why God keeps repeating, take this seriously. The grace is available, the power is present, the opportunities are prepared. but they will not wait forever. The window is open, but windows close. Do not play with time as if it belongs to you. Time is a gift, and gifts unwrapped too late lose their power. If you feel the fire of this word burning in your spirit, do not ignore it. Type 777 inches, the comments as a sign of agreement, as a prophetic declaration that you are awake and alert. Like this video to align yourself with heaven's message, and subscribe to join the thousands of other chosen ones who are answering the same call. This is no joke, and your obedience will mark the difference between collapse and breakthrough. Chosen ones, there are battles being fought over your life that you cannot see with your physical eyes. These battles are not happening in the open, they are happening in the unseen realms where angels and demons collide. And whether you realize it or not, your decisions are influencing the outcome. Every time you choose faith over fear, heaven gains ground. Every time you entertain doubt or delay obedience, darkness gains leverage. This is why God keeps pressing you with urgency, because neutrality is not an option. Silence is not safety. Every step matters. You may have noticed how certain people react strangely to you without reason. They sense something they cannot explain, a weight on your presence that unsettles their spirit. This is not about personality, it is about anointing. Your spirit carries authority, and those bound by darkness recognize it before you even open your mouth. Do not dismiss these encounters as coincidence. They are evidence that heaven has marked you. The very fact that your presence disturbs atmospheres is proof that you were not designed to blend in. You were sent to disrupt. Look at how your emotions have been fluctuating. One moment you feel fire, the next you feel weary. One day clarity, the next confusion. This is not random, it is the turbulence of transition. Just as a plane shakes hardest when breaking through clouds, your life shakes hardest when breaking into new altitudes. Do not mistake turbulence for failure. The shaking is a sign that you are ascending. The enemy would love for you to believe you are falling, but the truth is, you are rising. Hold steady, because altitude always feels unstable until you adjust to the new level. And take note of how the attacks have been personal. It is not vague discouragement. It is targeted at your weaknesses, your memories, your insecurities. Hell has studied you long enough to know your pressure points, and it is pressing on them with precision. But what the enemy fails to understand is that pressure points are also power points. Every area he presses is the very area God intends to use as a testimony. The weakness that once shamed you will become the platform of your strength. That's why the attacks are so relentless, because they are striking at the very place of your calling. Do not underestimate the power of focus in this season. Your attention is your most valuable weapon, and the enemy knows it. That is why distractions are multiplying. Endless scrolling, shallow conversations, meaningless obligations, they are designed to drain your fire. If you keep scattering your focus, you will dilute your authority, but if you sharpen it, you will pierce through barriers others cannot. This is not about working harder, it is about looking straighter. One gaze on God will accomplish more than 1,000 frantic efforts in your own strength. Chosen ones, understand that your obedience is time-sensitive. Delay is not neutral. It is disobedience dressed politely. Every day you postpone, you invite interference. Every hour you hesitate, you forfeit momentum. The Spirit of God is moving quickly, and those who treat this casually will be left behind. This is why you feel urgency in your chest, why everything around you feels accelerated. Heaven is not waiting for your convenience. The clock is ticking, and your role cannot be filled by anyone else. What you carry is too unique to be transferred. Take it seriously now. or risk losing what was meant only for you. You have also been entrusted with influence, even if you do not see it yet. People are watching how you navigate storms. They may never say it, but they are studying your endurance. Your reactions are preaching louder than any sermon. If you collapse, they will think collapse is acceptable. If you rise, they will believe rising is possible. You are the evidence God is using to convince others of His reality. That is why you cannot treat your journey as insignificant. Every step you take is teaching someone else how to walk. Do not ignore the physical signs your body is giving you. The headaches, the restlessness, the weight in your chest. They are not all medical. Some are spiritual. Your body reacts to warfare because you are not just flesh. You are spirit, housed in flesh. Pay attention to the heaviness that comes when you enter certain rooms, the exhaustion after certain conversations, the unease in certain places. These are warnings. Your body is discerning what your mind has not yet processed. Do not treat these signals lightly. Withdraw where you must. Guard yourself where you must. And remember that discernment often begins in the body before it reaches the mind. And listen, some of you have been tempted to return to what God already delivered you from. Old habits suddenly look appealing. Old relationships suddenly resurface. Old mindsets try to lure you back. This is not nostalgia. It is warfare. The enemy is attempting to recycle what once trapped you, hoping you will be too tired to resist. Do not fall for it. If you return, the chains will be heavier than before. God is saying, do not treat this lightly. What I delivered you from was death disguised as comfort. Do not go back to graves when I have prepared gardens. Your prayers in this season are more powerful than you know. Even the whispers you barely finish are echoing in heaven. Angels are dispatched by words you thought were weak. Do not underestimate the authority of your voice. When you speak truth into the atmosphere, you are legislating in the spirit. The enemy trembles not at volume, but at alignment. And when your words align with heaven, mountains move. That is why your silence has been under attack, why distractions come the moment you try to pray. If your prayers were meaningless, warfare would not resist them. This is the moment to rise in boldness. Fear has lied to you long enough, telling you that you are unworthy, unprepared, unequipped. But God does not call the equipped, He equips the called. And you, chosen one, are called. The very fact that you are still here, breathing, listening, surviving what others did not, proves you were set apart for something greater. Do not belittle yourself anymore. To mock your calling is to mock the one who gave it to you. Stand tall, because heaven is waiting for your agreement. If this word burns in your spirit, do not ignore it. Like this video to align with the message. Subscribe to join thousands of other chosen one souls walking this same path. And type 777 inches the comments to declare that you are awake, ready, and refusing to take this lightly. Chosen ones, pay attention to the atmosphere around you. The sudden heaviness that falls in certain moments is not random. It is a signal. It is heaven trying to show you that the unseen is more active than what your eyes can detect. When the air shifts, when silence feels louder than noise, it is because the spirit realm is pressing close. Do not dismiss these moments as mood swings or exhaustion. They are alerts. The spirit is urging you to wake up, to pray, to stand, to be vigilant. Casualness in these moments is dangerous, because what you ignore will grow stronger. You may have noticed how your dreams have become more vivid, more strange, more urgent. This is not imagination, it is revelation. The night season is no longer just rest for your body. It has become training ground for your spirit. Some of the images you see are warnings, others are previews of what is coming, and some are confirmations of what God has already whispered. Do not brush them off as meaningless. Begin to treat your dreams like instructions. Write them down, seek interpretation, ask God for clarity. If you minimize them, you risk walking blind into traps that could have been avoided. Chosen ones, the way people respond to you in this season will expose what has been hidden all along. Notice who celebrates your growth and who grows silent. Notice who prays for you and who mocks you behind your back. This is not about bitterness, it is about discernment. God is showing you who truly carries your name in their heart and who only carries your presence for convenience. If you ignore these revelations, you will find yourself carrying betrayal into the next season. The shaking of relationships is not cruelty, it is clarity. The urgency in your finances is not simply about survival. God is restructuring your relationship with resources. He is showing you that money is not just currency, it is assignment. The reason old streams have dried up is because He is preparing to trust you with new streams that require maturity. This is not the time to panic. It is the time to practice stewardship. If you treat these financial lessons lightly, you will mishandle the wealth He intends to place in your hands. And the wealth waiting for you is not just for personal comfort, it is for kingdom impact, for legacy, for generational shift. Do not take lightly the restlessness in your heart. You keep feeling like something is about to break, like something is on the verge of shifting. That sensation is not anxiety, it is prophecy. Your spirit is catching glimpses of what is coming, even if your mind has no language for it yet. Pay attention to the stirring. It is the sign that the promise is near. A woman feels the contractions before the baby arrives, and they grow sharper the closer delivery comes. Do not treat your contractions as coincidence. They are evidence that the long-awaited breakthrough is almost here. This is also a season of heightened spiritual sensitivity. Songs, scriptures, and even random phrases will strike you with unusual power. Do not shrug it off. That sudden verse repeating in your mind is not random, that is heaven's reminder. That one sentence that pierces you in conversation is not accident, that is confirmation. You are being trained to hear God in places you once overlooked. If you dismiss these signals, you will miss instructions hidden in plain sight. Take them seriously, because they are not for your entertainment, they are survival codes for your destiny. The enemy has been relentless in trying to wear you down through subtle compromise. It's not always through big sins, but through small distractions, hours wasted, words spoken carelessly, opportunities ignored. These seem small, but they erode your edge. Understand this. Every compromise is a crack in your armor. You cannot afford cracks when the arrows are flying. This is why heaven is urging you. Do not treat this lightly. Even the small choices are weighty now. Your habits are deciding your harvest.